Hello, welcome back to Miss Smith's art class. Today's lesson is about non-objective art. What is non-objective art? Well, it's the opposite of objective art. Imagine that. So objective art is when you have a clear subject. Like, let's say I would draw a self-portrait. It would clearly be of me, right? Or a still life drawing. I would have a subject of maybe cups, flowers, set up, and I would draw what that really looks like. Now, abstract art is perhaps where I took something from reality, like my face, right? If I was gonna do an abstract self-portrait, then I would probably make my eyes crooked or move my nose over here, or really change reality. I would abstract reality. Now what we're doing today is non-objective. So we're not even starting out realistic. We're not having any subject and matter. We're gonna make art for art's sake. So it's just lines and shapes and shading and color and all these things that'll allow you to let loose a little bit, practice some techniques, and make some beautiful non-objective art. The materials you will need are fairly simple. You'll need a piece of paper. Mine's 12 by 18 rectangular. You can use a square piece of paper or rectangular, either one you want, any size. You'll need drawing materials, pencil, eraser. I recommend using a pen, ballpoint pen, or marker. I've got a Sharpie here to use. Ruler might be helpful, not required. And some kind of color. I've got twistables, watercolor, crayons, colored pencils, markers, pastels. I mean, you can use anything you want to add color. So let's get started. Step number 1 is to create a grid on your paper. We're going to get our geometric shapes. All over boxes will have vertical lines and horizontal lines intersecting, and you are welcome to use math and divide up your paper with a ruler, or you could do something that's a little easier in my opinion, which would be to fold it into sections. That will give us a grid. So I'm just going to fold this paper in half, lining up my edges, pressing down, nice sharp crease. So I've got 2 sections now. And I'm just gonna keep going. So I'll fold the opposite way in half here. All right, I actually already have a grid now because I have 4 sections, but we want more than that. So keep folding your paper into different sections. So if I folded that one in half, that's actually a refold of what I just did before. So I could fold it in half again. So I just went half, now I'm gonna go half again, so that I'll have a smaller section. It's a little harder to fold multiple sides, to really push down hard, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so now you're seeing, now I have 8 rectangles. Let's do more. Okay, so this way I'm gonna fold again, and you guessed it, I'll fold it in half again. Aha, okay. This looks about right. Let's see, it looks like I've got 4 by 4, so that's 16 rectangles. That seems like a good amount for this grid. There's no magic number. You can have as many squares or rectangles as you want. Just try to make those fairly even. So that's step number 1, is to fold a grid. Step number 2 is to trace your grid. You could do this with pencil or Sharpie. A ruler or not, so it's really up to you. I think it's going to be easier actually for me to use a ruler here, so I can kind of line up my edges. I eyeball it, make sure it's lined up top and bottom, and going over my line here. Something on my paper. Here's my grid. Step number 3 is to draw 3 diagonals. I want them to make an interesting composition. So let's see, if I have like one maybe here, one here, and then maybe one there, so that they are sort of filling my paper. I'm going to draw lightly at first, just in case, and I want to cross through as many different boxes as I can. So there's one diagonal. I think I want this one to be like a steeper angle here. And then the next one perhaps going towards that top corner. Okay. So 3 diagonals going any direction you want. Once you like them, then you can start darkening them like I am here. All right, that was step 3. Draw 3 diagonals. Step 4 is to draw some curves. We have all these straight lines, and we need to have contrast between geometric, and organic shapes. So these curves will help to break up this space. There's no magic number to the amount of curves you have, but here's the trick. I want each of your grid square to have lines going through it. So right now, this one's pretty full. I won't need too much there. This one, and then I've got ones down here that aren't even touched. So when I'm drawing my curves, I need to make sure I hit some of these areas. And of course, draw in pencil with this, because if you don't like something, just erase it. All right, I know I want to have some kind of curve maybe going through this top corner. So maybe I'll do like a, one coming here and then up maybe? Cool. Okay. Probably end up outlining these later in Sharpie to clean them up. Okay, that breaks up that space nicely. Let's see. Don't have much going on here or there, so I think I'm gonna start by heading that way. Let's see, how about maybe coming, actually, well, let's see where it goes. Maybe here? Oh yeah, that looks good. And then maybe, oh yeah, I think I'll go off the page there. I didn't want to mirror that shape, so then go off there. Do you see how sometimes I like to draw without even touching to kind of plan it out first? Okay, I definitely need a little interest down here. It's looking a little empty. So maybe, ooh, I could do some kind of line maybe going up, crossing up this way. Ooh, it's starting to look almost like a road map. Oh, as if like these were the latitude and longitude, and then these are like rivers and roads. Okay, this portion is looking fairly full. I don't think I need too much in here. Let's see, maybe just like a simple curve up here. Oh yeah, that looks cool. There, that looks good. And then maybe, ooh, yeah, that balances that one out. A lot of this stuff is sort of instinct, where you think about balance and movement and what areas need what. I still feel like I need a little something down here. How about, ooh, I know, just a simple kind of curve down, going off the page. This area is looking done. Maybe one little here. And then, how about one there? This is actually getting easier the more I do. And then I think just one more here. Yep, cool. All right, so I'm starting to get an interesting composition. Each time you do this, it'll be different and yours will look different from mine, but we've got this basic composition for our non-objective work where we have nice contrast between straight lines and curves, geometric and organic. There's lots of movement. It's a great place to get started. Step 5, pretty easy. Outline your lines or trace your lines with Sharpie. Next, for step number 6, we're going to erase some of those pencil lines that we used in the beginning to find our shapes. That'll just kind of clean up our edges here. I could use the end of this pencil. That would be totally fine. Or you could use a separate eraser. So just get rid of those messy old pencil lines you don't need anymore. The next step is to get creative. options here. I'm going to show you several different ways that I would approach this. One is just simply shading my darks and light values in pencil. Another option would be to use color. So I'll be using lots of different colors in each section, and I'll be using some of the same shading techniques. And yet another option is to use pen and ink. So I'll be using Sharpie to add different patterns and designs inside of each section. So these are just 3 options out of like a million ways that you could get creative with this. You can follow along with one of the ways I do this, or you can come up with something totally on your own. You're not limited to these 3. So have fun, make it your own, and get creative. Project is shading. And there's lots of different ways you can shade. We're going to start with pencil. Let's see. So if you take it grid piece by grid piece, I'll just start, how about with this one right here. When you're shading these, I want you to pick one side of your shape to be darker and one side to be lighter. So when I say shape, I'm talking about this shape inside of the grid piece. So if this one is the one I'm going to start with, then I'm just going to pick one side. How about this one? So if I want this part to be darker than that part, I'm going to start by pushing down on my pencil. I'm going in different directions. That technique is called cross hatching. We can go diagonal, up and down, vertical. So as I start to go out, I am giving more space in between my lines. See how I'm getting looser and less woven together? And another technique you can use for shading is to actually just lighten the touch of your pencil. So not only am I doing slightly less lines as I go out, I'm pressing down less hard too. So I can go back here and really get that darker and start fading it out, kind of like an ombre effect. Now if you'd like a smoother look, you could smooth with your fingertip, or you could use one of these smoothing tools. Oh yeah, those work great. And if it ever gets too dark over there, I noticed that actually smoothed out a little bit more than I wanted. I may erase a little bit of that and then kind of smooth it again in the middle. So there I've accomplished a nice range of value. I went from my darkest dark in the corner here, and I faded it out into my lighter light. So you're going to continue doing that, but you're going to switch up the direction of the shadows. So if this one got dark here, then I don't want this shape to get dark at the same side or the same point. So I would switch it over and start darkening this side. It'll kind of give you like a flip-flopping effect. So again, I'm going to change directions for my pencil lines, do a little cross hatching, loosen up on the pressure, do a little less lines, and then I'm going to use my finger. I think that blending stick got a little too blending. So see how that already makes a nice contrast there between those two? All right, I'm gonna keep going. I got dark here, here. So again, I don't think I wanna necessarily go there. I think I'll make mine dark up here. This is one of those projects that it really just builds and builds, and you don't have like this clear plan. You sort of figure it out as you go along. I love stuff like that. It almost becomes relaxing or meditative. Okay, I'm gonna smooth that out. If you need to do a little, use your eraser to kind of do some more shading, that works too, sort of the opposite. You're lifting up some of the value. Okay. Let's see, I definitely don't want it to get dark there. That'd be dark on dark, and that's also dark here. So I think I'll pull this part up, make that darker here. And just start fading it out, different directions. You might even want to turn your paper as you go. You can layer, build up and up. Again, I went a little dark towards the edges. Kind of fade that out, feather it out a little bit. Clean up that edge. Cool. Let's see here. I think I want to maybe do this side dark. Okay, and then that's my last one out of this grid. Awesome. So one grid square is, or grid rectangle is done. I'm gonna continue doing this all over the page. It's gonna take a while. I'll probably have pretty gray fingers by the end, but I'm gonna turn on some music, get in the zone, enjoy myself, and I hope that you like this too. It's a great way to practice your shading techniques. Glimpse inside the artist studio. Here's Wookie. Hi, Wookie. He loves to help with art. Here, show him your pretty face. He's like, no. That went well. done with all 3 of my examples for the non-objective art lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Can't wait to see what spin you put on this. We all kind of started the same way with a grid. It's a great place to start art. And then we added a variety of lines. We have diagonals and curves just to switch it up. So sometimes it's hard to just know where to start a piece of art. So those were kind of some easy way to get started. And then you ran with it. So hopefully you got really creative. I had fun playing with 3 different options here. Let's see. I think this one might be my most pleasing or relaxing image. I feel like it just flows together and I enjoy looking at it. This one, might be, well, it's definitely the most colorful, but it's also kind of fun, and maybe I think bright colors are fun. It reminds me a bit of a roller coaster or balloons just because of the way they're shaded, or a stained glass window, definitely. And then this one's really out there. It's totally different than the other 2. It's probably my most exciting piece, and there's so much to look at. It really brings my eye all around, and it was challenging to come up with different shapes and kind of try to have balance between dark, light, and medium. So can't wait to see what you make. Hope you had fun. Thank you so much for watching my lesson on non-objective art, and can't wait to see your art. Bye.